Great afternoon, everyone. It's still Monday, first day of the new year, work day, right? For some people, January 3rd. And so, what we're doing here is following up on my earlier live where I talked to you about what my one goal is, or one of my goals for the year, which is to get a better relationship or develop a better relationship with God. And that the intent is to be able to use that spiritual connection to live my best life from now going forward, right? Last year, no matter how high or low it was the lowest I will ever go, and it's here and now, right? Going up. Nothing else gonna stop me. And how do I make this happen for myself? I start with purpose and intent. And I want to live a purposeful life and a purpose-filled life as well. So what we're talking about is setting intentions here. So you're going to create these lists, writing it down, and then you're going to actually work towards the spiritual side to make this happen for you in the spiritual realm, and you'll do the work and the physical work to get there as well. But if you don't get that spiritual connection, I'm telling you, no matter what level of success you think you've reached in the past, you've reached nothing until you connect to that spiritual side, whoever it is that you believe in, be it God, Allah, whoever, right? You need to have that connection so that they work through you and you do their will, and everything else that you're asking for will happen for you. I promise. Right? And it's taken me a while to actually get to this point where I can verbally say these things, right? It was a little uncomfortable for me because I don't want to push my religion on people. I'm not full, religious, going to church every day, but I have my own spirituality and I'm embracing it. And I want to share that with you. And hopefully you get something from it, and feel free to start to embrace your own. So we're talking about is setting a purposeful year for ourselves. And how do we do that? We're going to create some lists, right? Write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk 2:2. You want to make sure that you are physically writing down your goals that you have for yourself. And I'm working through a specific book called Pray and Grow Rich by Catherine Ponder. She spells it with a C, but she gets a pass, right? And in that, because I have struggles with knowing how to pray, feeling like I'm saying the right words, etc., that book is really helping me to understand the order of prayer, how to get myself elevated to that particular level where my relationship with God is where I want it to be. You don't have to use that book, but that's an example I'm using. And one of the things that she talked about in her book is talking about making lists, and the 3 lists that she recommends you make. The first one is a list of things or conditions that you want to eliminate from your life. I'm going to talk about this again later on. We are not exalting and putting a lot of energy into what we don't want in life, but setting this list out is going to put out into the universe what it is that you are not accepting any longer, what you don't want any longer in your life. Make it as long as you need to. Be comprehensive. Don't rush these lists, and take your time to really, sit in peace and think through what you want to change in your life and what you want to eliminate from your life. And it doesn't have to be all bad things, right? But things that prevent you from moving forward, like procrastination, right? That is kind of bad. But anything that doesn't serve where you want to be, the true you and which you're developing to be, is something you want to eliminate. So you're going to write that out. And at the bottom of that list, he recommended that you write this sentence as something that you affirm after you've completed the list. Now, I release worn out conditions and worn out relationships, right? Everyone can't go with you, and it's okay, right? You still love your friends who aren't moving with you in the right direction. You still love your family, your husband, whomever, your wife, your moms, whoever it is, right? They have a place in your life, but where you're trying to get to, if they're not moving in the same energy that you are, you're going to let those people stay where they are while you go and move towards the things you want. I'm not saying divorce people and ignore everyone, right? But you will make time to have the time with them, but use your real time and the bulk of your time to achieve your goals, right? So you release them and bless them in their true place now, wherever it is that they want to be. They release me. They let me go, right? And bless me to my true place now. And even if they blessing you in a different way, it's all good because God's going to bless you in his way, right? Everyone's not going to understand when you release them and you spend less time engaging because you have a higher calling. That's okay too. We don't care anymore what people think. We don't care, right? What they expect of us, right? They know the old you, there is a new you now, and you're moving to that person. I let them go and let God guide me into my new good, which is my true good now. That relationship with God that you're building, or whoever it is that you have this relationship with, is going to be the one that guides you and gets you to where you want to go and really gets you to where He's set out for you, right? It's His will. He has a plan for your life. You are opening yourself up to receive that goodwill, to receive what He has for you, and to reach those goals. So you're going to write this list out of things you want to eliminate from your life, things, people, whatever, and write this at the bottom of it, right? The second list that you're going to create is a list of things and conditions that you want to manifest in your life. Man, the law of attraction is alive and well. There are general principles that govern everything in this world and in your life. And if you don't know it, you're going to learn, and it's going to become clear to you at some point, right? So you're creating this list of things that you choose to welcome. And I say choose because you really do have to make a definite plan of what it is that you want. And again, you're writing it down. Once you write it down, it is a promise to God, it's a promise to yourself, and you should feel more inclined to make sure that you follow through on these things once you've written them down. Eh? So you're writing down the good things that you choose to welcome in your life, the things that you are going to work towards achieving in your life. And you want to be clear with them, right? Set these goals, be definite about them. Don't just say, I want to be rich, right? You're going to set a goal and set a monetary amount to what it is that you want to achieve within this year, so that you have that, and then you learn to break that down into chunks that make it easy for you to see that you're making progress, right? You always want to have your lofty goal, but you want to make sure that you then break down those goals into achievable steps so that you're always improving, which is going to make you feel more confident and make you stay on track to get to that ultimate goal once you're done, right? So the second list is a list of things that you want to attract into your life. And the third list is a list of conditions or things that you are currently experiencing in your life that you are grateful or thankful for. Gratitude is everything. And I mean everything. It doesn't matter that you haven't yet achieved, the goals that you have for yourself and that you always want more. We should always want more and never settle for what we have, right? That's fine. We need to live in the now and appreciate and give that gratitude for what we have in our lives. Like we are not focused on the lack. We are always saying what we're grateful for. So you want to write that list. What are you grateful for? And there's nothing too small to include on it. I'm grateful that I woke up this morning, right? I'm grateful that I had a pair of sneakers to put on so I didn't have to walk outside in the rain and get my feet wet, that sort of thing. That's what we're talking about. Get as granular as you need to, right? Here's a long list of some things that you can list that you might be grateful for and think about. And if you don't feel the gratitude for it, understand that that's a part of what's keeping you from achieving these things, because you can't even accept and be thankful for what it is that you currently have in these realms, right? Maybe you want more supportive friends, but I bet you got one at least that is supportive of you, right? So be grateful for that, and don't worry about the ones who aren't doing what you would like for them to do for you. They will come, right? Or that one will be enough. So what are you thankful for? Your family, friends? What talents or skills do you have that you're thankful for? Because you have them, they will always enable you to earn a living with them, say. What are you thankful that you have? It's not shameful for you to be thankful that you have a Rolls Royce in your garage, right? If you have earned it and you worked hard for it, you should be grateful and thankful for it, and not be ashamed that you are in a position to have those sorts of things. And it doesn't have to be a Rolls Royce. Like I said, my sneakers, I was happy I had something to put on today, right? Your health, your happiness, the progress that you're making, the lessons that you learn, right? We need to understand that even when we try something and it doesn't happen the way that we want to, right? It fails, we fail in it. It's not a failure. You have to treat it as a lesson that you've learned that you can then build on and move forward with, right? So be thankful and list those sorts of things. Understanding, discernment, courage, strength, discipline, self-love. Oh my, oh my. Self-love, I can go on and on about that, but you get the gist, right? Open-mindedness, breath, sight, hearing, wealth. These are anything that you're thankful for, add it to the list. And again, I say take your time with this list, revisit these lists, add to them as you're going along and you're thinking about the additional things that you've become thankful for, the additional things that you want to remove or add to your life. These are living lists. They don't stop just because you wrote them today or, within the week. And we're talking about what we want for this year. You want to start the year on the high note, but you're not behind because this is a third. You're not behind if you do it next week, but you want to get it done because this is setting the standard for what it is that you plan to work towards for the year. Okay. So that's the third list. And you're going to review these lists on a daily basis and declare that this or something better, Lord, let your unlimited good will be done. You want to make sure that you've put out there what it is that you want to for your life, and then you're putting it into the hands of God. You are not responsible, right? And how it gets done is none of your business, basically. So once you put it out there, then it's up to him, right? He is a loving God. He is a truthful God. He will hear you and he will deliver. So that is our list creation there. And it's the same as setting goals, and many different personal development people will talk about this same concept in some regard and call it something else maybe, but it is setting your intentions and writing it down. People use their computers, their phones. There is something about the written word that makes it real. So you want to get an actual notebook or sheets of paper where you're writing this information out, okay? And then when you're talking about your goals here, you want to set 3 specific types of goals for the end of 2022. Lord, 2022. You want to set a spiritual goal. So for me, it's to get closer with God and to let him in and to grow into knowing that I am worthy of his love, his attention, and all the good that he has for me, right? What's your health goal? And what's your financial goal? In the past, you've heard people say to share it with someone because then that's like your accountability. That is a way for you to put it out there, and now you have to move towards it. But what's for you is for you. So don't feel pressure to share these goals with people if you don't feel comfortable doing so. You write them, they are for you. You will work towards them. And maybe you have an accountability partner for the different steps that you're going to take to achieve those goals without sharing exactly what the goal is if you feel uncomfortable saying it. But the point is to create those goals and to write them down for yourself. And what do you want at the end of 2022? And then you set the goals, right? You chunk it down into achievable steps that you can do. So for me, with the one goal that I did share with you all, it is reading the book Pray and Grow Rich. And it's not just about earning wealth, but pray and grow rich in every area of your life. She talks about improving relationships through prayer, improving your understanding, right, with God, but also the prayers that you would make to achieve some level of personal wealth as well. So it's all encompassing, not just pray and grow rich monetarily. So I'm using that book and some others and actually having a prayer journal that I'm going to write in on a daily basis to help to get me there. I have a mentor that I work with, and she gives scriptures all the time when she speaks, right? You will not hear Tanisha Graham talk without referring to some sort of scripture and how God has moved in her life to get her to where she is, right? And it's through her understanding and what she shares that I get a better understanding of who God is and what his word says and promises for me if I am open to receive that. So what is it that you are doing to achieve the goals that you're setting for yourself? And chunk it down and then start to do the work on a daily basis. These are some of the things that I'm doing to get closer to God and have him work in my life, right? The next one is, then once you have created that list, you want to imagine, and then you want to speak it, and you want to then see it, right? It needs to appear. So what we're talking about here is when you're imagining, when you were a child, you weren't worried about what people thought about you, right? You had imaginary friends, you had all kinds of things happening, and people really indulged you and let your imagination and your creativity drive you. And then as you got older, the world started to tell you what was right, how you should act, how you should look, and you lost some of that, right? We're going back to childlike imagination and creativity where we just can see in our mind's eye, visualize exactly what it is we want for our lives. And there's no limit to that, right? We are taking off and right, breaking those chains and making sure that everyone else's expectations of you and what they feel is okay or not okay doesn't matter. We do not care what people think about us, what we do, what we say, how we dress, because we're living for ourselves, and to make sure that we do manifest what it is what we want. So visualize, that's the imagination. You can see it, you can see it happen for you as well, right? And have it happen for you. So visualize what it is that you want and act as if, right? Fake it till you make it is what people say, but the act as if says, if I know that I want to have a better spiritual life with God, using my example, one of, then I'm going to start to act as if I already have that. And that feeling is going to build and move me forward in life. So I want to act as if I already have that and let that posture start to really manifest itself in my life. And I will start to feel close to God because there's a level of faith that I am exhibiting even before I even have the full belief. I am acting on faith and therefore it will come, right? So you want the car, visualize yourself in that car, understand, right? Get an actual feel for what it smells like, right? Once your imagination gets going and you know that you have that buttery new car leather smell in your mind, I bet you can smell it, right? As you're sitting and thinking about yourself sitting in that new car that you have, as an example, as you visualize, you want to be really clear and really engage and immerse yourself in that feeling of what it is that you want as you're imagining this, right? The next is to speak it. Faith comes through hearing and hearing by the word. So you want to affirm these things out loud, the same way that when you pray, you actually want to pray out loud because the words and the vibrations that are going out is what's going to make this come true for you too. And that's something that I've been really hesitant about doing. I will say the words in my mind. And still not be clear on whether I'm saying the right things. But now it's like I just put it out there and trust that I'm saying that the fact that I'm saying anything is something that will be pleasing, right? So when you're saying what it is that you want and you've created that list, speak that list out loud. What is it that you want in your life? Manifest it by talking through it, right? And again, we talk in the positive, hung by the tongue. I will give you and will give you as we go along and in these talks, lots of different books that I read because it's one of my favorite things to do, that are helping me to get to where I want to be. So Hung by the Tongue is one of those books where it really talks about the power of the choice of words that you're using and that you need to be careful. So instead of saying what you don't want, always say it in the positive so that the universe can work on the positive aspect and not reinforce and continue to manifest the negative because that's what you're speaking, right? So be mindful of how you speak what you're saying you want and always affirm in the positive what you want. Even though you know what you don't want, claim what you do want when you're trying to negate what you don't want in your life. And then the last is that you want to make it appear. If you can see it, again, then you can manifest it better. So the power of the vision board, right? Everyone talks about it nowadays, but do you do it, right? So create your vision board. Once you know what you want in life, you're going to create a vision board to help you to achieve those things, right? You're having expedited sight because you can see it everywhere you turn. So create a vision board of 5 says that if I'm sitting in my office and I have a wall right in front of me, I want my vision board right in front of me so that I can see it throughout the day. And when I turn around and I look behind me, I want a vision board behind me so that as I'm looking behind me, it's there in my face. Oh, and when I'm about to walk out my door, wow, there's my vision board reminding me of what it is that I want in life, that I want to manifest, right? Wherever it is that you see where you can fit your vision board, smaller, bigger versions of it, however it is, right? You want to see it everywhere you turn. Put something on your mirror to remind you of what it is that you want in life. And as you continue to see it, that's going to help it to manifest for you as well. So do the work, folks. Make sure that you are um, imagining these things, that you are sure to then speak about them and to create your vision board. Make it plain and visible in your sight so that you can begin to manifest it. And the last thing I'll say is this, right? And it's a little bit personal. I don't believe that people feel like I am inhuman and that like everything in my life goes well. Some people may seem to think that because I don't tend to talk about when things are not going well. One of the things that I have had some struggles with fairly recently is when I am feeling down, and we all get this way at some point. What I tend to do is pull away, right? And so the things that were moving me forward, the things that were filling me with good, things that made me want to get up and just get going, I separated myself from, right? I stopped doing my daily personal development. I stopped going for my walks. You guys have seen possibly my videos where I always say, dang, I feel so good to be. I don't know why I won't get out and just go for a walk every morning because I feel so good. My day just starts so much better when I go for a walk. Right. So when things start to not go the way that I wish they were and was expecting them to, I tend to just fold sometimes and just unplug from everyone and everything. Right. I do the bare minimum, right, that I need to do. But other than that, I will literally get in my bed for the whole day. And I have done that. I'll read, and it won't be reading anything that's helpful to me. It'll just be mindless stuff, right? It's just procrastination and filling myself with things that aren't helping me to get past what I'm feeling, aren't helping me to reach that goal or, to move forward. I really have been known to do that. And the problem is that the things that you're unplugging from are the very things that you need to stay connected to because they will help pull you through even when you can't pull yourself through. So, that being said, the last thing you want to be clear on is identifying who your people are, right? And your people don't have to be people that you are physically connected to in real life, right? Oprah, one of my best friends, y'all know me and Jay-Z get down like what? Like who's Beyonce? Who? I like her and all, but that's my dude, right? So my point is that when you have someone who inspires you, someone who helps you to see what's possible for you, someone who pours into you, whether they're doing it personally or not, you need to stay connected to those people. Your mentors are anyone that you get inspiration from, right? And you want to stay on their YouTube channels or any other social media where you can get access to their wisdom, what they're saying, what they've done to get them to where you are trying to go, right? As well as the people that you are physically connected to who can really lay hands on you and get personal with you and give you that one-on-one. Um, Identify who your people are, stay plugged into those people who inspire you to do more, to be more, to have more, and even at your lowest points, stay connected because that's what's going to help you to get through it. And I can tell you right now, it was amazing, right? It's the new year. And I like to say, or I could say that it's because it's the new year that I'm feeling invigorated. But the truth is that it was that I don't listen. I have a hard time letting go and letting someone lead me. And there are things that I'm working on with that, right? And so it's always, I can do this, right? And never me just, accepting the help. I'm the first one to want to help people. But when it comes time for me to ask for help and receive it, it is just like, wow, I'm in a position where I actually need help. And I don't honor that sometimes even the strongest people need the help. I know it in my head, but when that person is me, it's like I'm not supposed to be that person. Even the strongest person, you might need help, but me, I got it together, right? So it's hard for me. At any rate, I've heard a number of times from one specific person, that I just need to let go and surrender to a process and trust that the people who are in my lives and trying to help me to get there have my best interests at heart and are moving me forward. And it's been really hard, but the funny part is that as of the last few days of the year, and definitely come the first and even yesterday the second, I really felt like, wow, I've just been doing myself such a disservice because I unplugged, right? If things weren't going my way and I was like, well, I'm not doing any of that because, I'm not in the position where I want to be. The fact is that the moment that I started talking and plugging back into what filled me, I felt better. Like the things that were stressing me out, stop stressing me out. And they haven't already turned completely around. However, I'm not stressed about it because I know and believe and have that faith that it's going to be all right, right? Everything is going to always be all good. And I trust that. And I'm thankful for the tribe that I have. We are rocking together and going to that next level together. You're going to see it. But the point here, again, is to don't cave, right? Don't go hiding. Um, Stay plugged in to the people who can bring you out of that dark space because it's a hard thing to come up out of yourself, right? It takes a strong person to see when this ain't what's happening. You got to keep moving. Once you go down that rabbit hole, there's a lot of work that you may have to do to get up out of it. But when you stay plugged into the people who are in the light still, they can help bring you out even when you can't help yourself. So I hope that this was helpful to you all. I hope, please, that you actually take the time to write these lists and do these steps and get a group, an accountability group, even if it's one person or a few people that you do this together with to help you to move forward. Because once you do that, you're going to see great change in your life, right? And especially, when you're walking with someone or people, there's just a greater satisfaction that comes from that. And you not just getting where you're going by yourself. So, with that being said, my friends, please do watch this, share this, and comment here. Let me know if this was helpful to you or not. And I'll be talking to you a lot more this year. Believe it, because it's my calling and I'm going to walk right into it and accept it. And if you don't like it, right? But you're going to love it because it's going to be some good stuff for you and me. Love you guys. Talk to you later.